Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Ombogo. Dear students, welcome back. That is into the analysis of the anthology, A Silent Song and Other Stories. So far we've been able, I can say that we have looked at, that is around four, we have looked at a number of four stories uh, from this compilation of stories. And in this session that we are about to have, I'd like us to look at the story that is also, the title of the compilation of the stories, that is A Silent Song and Other Stories. The story that we are looking at in this session is A Silent Song, and the author is Leonard Kibera. Remember, earlier on, that is during the introduction of the anthology A Silent Song and Other Stories, uh, we mentioned that uh, A Silent Song and Other Stories is a unique collection of short stories from various societies across the world. And we are further told that the stories of, and the authors, that is, have been carefully selected to represent various generations of writers from diverse backgrounds. So remember the second story that we looked at, that is the second story that we were able to analyze, was An Incident in the Park, and it was written by a Kenyan, that is Major Mwangi. It is also another Kenyan author. It is also another Kenyan writer, uh, who we that is whom we are looking at his literary work in this session. About the author, that is Leonard Kibera, the writer behind A Silent Song. We are told that Leonard Kibera was a Kenyan novelist and short story writer who died in 1976. May his soul rest in peace. Leonard was born in Kabete, Kenya. He attended high school at Embu and studied at the University of California and Stanford University. He taught at the University of Zambia and at Kenyatta University in Kenya from 1976 until his death. Remember, we are told that he died in 1976, it means that within the same period. So his first publication was a book of short stories, Potent Ash, that is published in 1968, which he wrote with his brother Samuel Kahiga. So the book explores the guilt, betrayal, and failure of the Mau Mau. Remember Mau Mau fighters. Several of the stories have been anthologized, especially The Spider's Web, which points an accusing finger at Kenya's elite for the state of Kenya since independence. So his only novel, Voices in the Dark, that is published in 1970, uses dark humor to question why most Mau Mau soldiers who fought for independence were forgotten and left to beg and die along the roadside. That is along the roadside. Leonard Kibera has also written several articles of literary criticism. About now the story, that is one of Leonard Kibera's literary works. That is A Silent Song. So when we are talking about A Silent Song, dear students, this is what you are supposed to expect. That is in the story. A Silent Song is a story about Mbane. So Mbane is a young, paralyzed, blind city street beggar who hasn't spent much of his life living on the streets. Who has spent much of his life living on the streets of a city, begging for money and seeking shelter in a back lane at night. So he lives in destitution, begging from the passers-by while seething with pain and discomfort. However, despite being surrounded by people and activity, Mbane is isolated and unable to fully participate in the rhythms and pleasures of urban life. He is unable to share in the small talk of the pedestrians, and even when they sing or whistle to the morning sky, Mbane can only observe from a distance. In the story, the city is depicted as a place of noise and activity, with the people singing and dancing and engaging in various forms of work and leisure. However, Mbane is only able to experience this activity from a limited perspective and is unable to fully understand or participate in it. This is due to Mbane's blindness, paralysis, and destitution. As such, he cannot really participate in the city's noise and activity. In contrast to Mbane's destitution, his brother is a wealthy preacher who rescues Mbane from the barbaric city and to the light of God after neglecting him for a long time. Mbane's brother rescues him from the city and brings him to a hut in a serene but suspicious location. Mbane reflects on his life in the city and the differences between his new surroundings and the city, including the lack of noise and busyness, the presence of trees, and the fact that his brother has brought him here with the intention of showing him the light of God. So, as we continue, though Mbane was unable to fully join in and express himself in the city with its vibrant energy and culture, he misses it. He painfully reminisces his street life with nostalgia at his brother's lonely hut. He thinks about his brother and wonders what his intentions are in bringing him to the hut. He is not as happy, though he is now in a more serene environment. He remembers the bright weather, lovely morning and beautiful sunset as the city bustling with people during the day talk. At night, the good men and women turned drunk and the pimps and whores have their turn to smile, sing and dance. Though he used to beg day and night for a living, in his religious brother Ezekiel's hut, Mbane is nursed by Sarah, his brother's wife, who administers bitter fluid down his throat. He swallows it painfully, and she assures him of being well. His religious brother Ezekiel preaches to him about Christ, the saved ones and sinners. He asks him whether he knows where sinners go when they die and whether he accepts Jesus. And Mbane says he doesn't know. So, Mbane wonders why certain groups, such as pimps and whores, are considered bad and reflects on the violence and hostility that he has witnessed in the city. Mbane is in pain and struggling to survive, and at one point he is overwhelmed by sharp pangs and momentarily paralyzed by them. Before Ezekiel saves him, that is, bringing him into the light of God, Mbane's strength wanes. The pain goes. His head jerks down to the bed and he is gone. In the end, Mbane is unable to fully comprehend or connect with his brother and feels that his brother's efforts to communicate and guide him are like a silent song. That is a message that is present, but Mbane is unable to fully hear or understand. So, dear students, despite this, Mbane remains hopeful that his brother's intentions are well intentioned and that he will be able to find meaning and purpose in his new surroundings. So, that is the plot. That is the plot, or rather the synopsis of A Silent Song. That is by uh, Leonard Kibera. So remember, the title is A Silent Song. So maybe let us ask ourselves this question: what is the relevance of the title? What is the relevance of the title to the story that, or rather, to the synopsis that we have just gone through? So the title A Silent Song could be interpreted in a few different ways, all of which seem fitting for the story described. So the first possibility is that the title refers to Mbane's own experience of living on the streets of the city. So despite being surrounded by people and activity, Mbane is isolated and unable to fully participate in the rhythms and pleasures of urban life. So he is unable to share in the small talk of the pedestrians, and even when they sing or whistle to the morning sky, he can only observe from a distance. So in this sense, Mbane's life is like a silent song. He is present but unable to fully join in or express himself. So another possibility is that the title refers to the city itself and the way in which it is described in the story. So the city is depicted as a place of noise and activity, with people singing and dancing and engaging in various forms of work and leisure. However, Mbane is only able to experience this activity from a limited perspective and is unable to fully understand or participate in it. So as a result, the city's vibrant energy and culture might be seen as a kind of silent song. So it represents that is, but beyond Mbane's reach, it represents some of the things that happen in the city, but beyond Mbane's reach. So another thing is that the title could also be interpreted as a metaphor for Mbane's relationship with his brother. So the brother is described as being silent and enigmatic, and Mbane is unsure of his intentions in bringing him to the hut. So the brother's actions and the words seem to suggest that he is trying to show Mbane something, perhaps the light of God, in quotes, but Mbane is unable to fully comprehend or connect with him. So in this sense, the brother's efforts to communicate and guide Mbane might be seen as a silent song, a message that is present, but Mbane is unable to fully hear or understand. So some of the key issues raised or the episodes that we have in this story, that is a silent song. That is the first one is Mbane's life of misery in the streets as a lame, blind beggar. So there is also, that is Mbane's lonely self versus the bubbly world around him. Then we also have Mbane's nostalgia, that is after he is taken to his brothers, after that is his brother Ezekiel rescues him and takes him to his hut. So we also have Mbane's brother Ezekiel and the rescue. So dear students, that's marked the end of the session. Thanks for watching to the end. Until next time.